Hey everyone, today we're diving into Azure AI Voice Live API. So this is a powerful new offering from Microsoft that's reshaping how voice agents are built, and it's now generally available. In this video, I'll break down what Voice Live API is and all the features that come with it. We'll also discuss some real-life use cases and the basic steps to get started. But first, let's start out with some quick facts. The Voice Live API is a unified, real-time speech-to-speech conversational interface that enables agents to listen, interpret, and speak back all in one API. It's part of the Azure AI Foundry ecosystem, which helps developers build agents that make decisions, invoke tools, and manage workflows. One key benefit is you don't need to stitch together separate speech-to-text, LLM, and text-to-speech components. Voice Live API handles everything in an integrated, low-latency pipeline. This service was first rolled out into public preview at the Microsoft Build conference in May of this year, but there have been several enhancements now that it's GA that improve developer experience and also performance. So let's go over some of the major ones. First, there's more natively integrated generative AI models. So you can choose from GPT Real-Time, GPT 4.1, GPT 4.0, and many others. Also, the models are fully managed, so there's no need to deploy or scale them yourself. There's also pricing tiers, and each of those supports different sets of models. So take a look at the pricing when you get a chance. I'll put it in the comments. Next is their support for over 140 languages and locales. So voice input is now supported across over 140 languages. Multilingual mode is enabled by default, which means it automatically handles language detection. Also, there's integration with custom speech and custom lexicon, so you can use custom speech for better recognition and domain-specific context. Also, phrase lists and lexicons let you refine pronunciation or handle domain vocabulary without retraining full models. They've also included upgraded Neural HD voices version 2, and those voices have more natural speech, so better pauses, better filler words, and better transitions between speaking styles. There's also improved voice activity detection features, so semantic VAD helps detect meaningful speech versus filler or pauses more accurately. In tests, there's about a 20% relative improvement over prior VAD models in multilingual and noisy settings. They've also included 4K avatar support, so now Voice Live API supports high-fidelity avatars, and this is ideal if you're building a visual character along with voice. There's also better function calling and agent integration, so there's more robust asynchronous function calls and tighter integration with Azure AI Foundry agent service. And finally, there's broader region support and developer resources. Voice Live API is now available in regions like Australia East, East US, Japan East, and UK South, in addition to the previously supported regions. So let's take a look at how real customers are leveraging Voice Live API. Hilo, which is in the healthcare industry, are piloting Voice Live to let a system called Genie, which is their application, to answer patients' questions, handle appointment info, and return voicemails, all in real time. Because everything, speech recognition, thinking, speech output, is in a unified pipeline, it removes latency and complexity for their application. Capgemini has an enterprise service desk. They're using Voice Live API to modernize service desk operations for 500,000 users across many clients. They integrated Voice Live to deliver conversational support over telephony, and the result is faster, more personalized support with lower operational overhead. Okay, let's take a look at Voice Live API in the speech playground in Azure AI Foundry. So as usual, you want to click into the speech playground, and you'll see when you click in, Voice Live API is the first thing, and it's already chosen for you, so here you are. So just a couple of things. I think that going to Speech Playground is like the perfect place to go if you're just learning about new speech services or speech AI services in general, because it really gives you a chance to like get your hands on the service without having to do any code, right? So that being said, let's check this out. So you can see on the left here, you can actually view code if you want to start there, but you can also view documentation. So if you click on this, it'll take you out to documentation. But on the left here, you can see that there's some samples that are already set up. So you have language learning, you've got customer service, you've got casual chat, and then you could even just start from a blank one and create your own, right? You can create your own voice agent, basically. So over here, there's also some configuration that you can do. So you can see you have Gen AI, speech input, speech output, avatar, and tool, and also content logging here. So For Gen AI, if you open it up, you can see that here you can choose your generative AI model. So there's quite a few models to choose from, as you can see, a lot of GPT, and then there's some Phi, and then we also have Bring My Foundry Agent Preview and Bring My Foundry Model Preview. So you can check that out as well. And then you also have response instructions. So this is where you go and you put in your prompts, your instructions on how you want, your application to behave. Like you can describe the voice agent's personality, tell it what it should and shouldn't do, and how to format its responses. You also have the response temperature here, so this would control the randomness. So if you lower the temperature, the model has a more repetitive or deterministic response. But if you increase the temperature, you'll get a more unexpected or a creative response, basically. And then if you have proactive engagement as well, it will initiate the conversation. So it'll initiate the conversation, but it'll actively respond during the silence just to keep the interaction engaging and continuous as well. So moving on here to speech input, there's a couple of things here. So there's language detection set to auto detect, but if you want, you can also choose the language as well. And then there's also voice activity detection. So you can choose basic server VAD or Azure semantic VAD. There's end of utterance detection. So when a speaker stops speaking, it recognizes it. And then there's audio enhancements that you can choose as well. And if you look at the audio enhancements, it includes noise suppression and echo cancellation. And then there's the phrase list, which we talked about. So this is where you can, provide a list of phrases, maybe names of people or specific locations, and it'll help. It will help for these words to be recognized more accurately. Okay, so that's the input. And then if you look at the output, Microsoft offers 600 plus neural voices that you can choose from. There's a ton of them here. You can see some are multilingual, some are HD, Dragon Latest. And I did a video earlier on the different types of voices, so I'd suggest that you go check that out before you choose a voice, because it'll help you determine what kind of voice you're looking for. But there's a ton of voices you can choose from. Also, if you have created a custom voice, or it's also called professional voice, you can enable that here as well. And this has the same same basic concept with voice temperature. So you can influence the randomness of the output, right? Lower temperature is less randomness, which is more predictable outputs, and then higher temperature increases the randomness, so you have more diverse or creative outputs. And then this is pretty cut and dry speaking rate. And then custom lexicon as well. So if you have specific words, for example, jargon or domain industry words, you can create a lexicon file, and you just enter the URL of the lexicon file here. The other thing it supports, which is pretty cool, is avatar. So there's a wide range of avatars you can use in the library. You can pick an avatar here. And if you have a custom avatar, you can also use that as well. This is where you would set that up. And just a heads up, and I just did a video on this as well, Microsoft has introduced 4K custom avatars as well. So if you need something with more granularity, maybe to show it on a bigger screen, this is where you would use custom 4K avatar. And then, the final thing is that you can do is also the content logging. So you can enable audio and transcript logging. So if you need to debug stuff, it stores it for up to 30 days, and then it's automatically removed after that. So you can, I would say get in here, play around with it, and see what you can do. Since we have just a little bit of time in this video, I'm not going to do it for you. I want you to get in there. I want you to experience it, and then let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. So why is this such a compelling service? First, lower complexity, faster development. Developers no longer need to stitch together separate speech-to-text, LLM, and text-to-speech components, and all the conversational enhancements are already integrated. Also, it provides a unified low-latency pipeline. Because everything is native and integrated, you get better responsiveness and smoother conversational experiences. It's also scalable. With more region availability, teams can build voice-enabled agents that are scalable. Another important factor is better quality and intelligent. Enhanced contextually aware voices, smarter interruption detection, and multilingual support, they all contribute to more natural conversational experiences. And finally, ecosystem integration. It's buildable with Azure AI Foundry, which already supports agent orchestration, tool invocation, and workflows, so voice becomes a natural extension. Okay, so here are the basic steps to get started with VoiceLive API. First, you want to check your region availability and your pricing tier. Make sure the region you're deploying to supports VoiceLive API, and then select an appropriate pricing tier, Pro, Standard, or Lite, based on the models you need. Next, you want to set up your Azure AI Foundry agent. You'll need an agent built or configured in Azure AI Foundry. VoiceLive plugs into that. Then use SDKs or APIs. So Microsoft provides SDKs, C# and Python, and sample code to help you invoke real-time voice conversations. You'll handle defining tools and function calls your agent can make, and then route user speech through VoiceLive. Next, customize speech and recognition. Use custom speech to refine recognition in domain-specific contexts. Use phrase lists or lexicons to influence pronunciation or handle special terminology. VoiceLive API marks a significant leap towards truly conversational, low-latency voice agents. If you're building voice agents, conversational bots, or voice UIs, this is definitely a tech to evaluate and experiment with. If you've enjoyed this breakdown, please like and subscribe so you don't miss future deep dives. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.